Hello everyone and welcome to the Arbor Farm. Thank you for joining us for today's episode where I want to share with you how to maximize the vase life of your cut peonies. Let's get started. I'm here today in Zone 6, Southern Michigan, and it is the end of May. We've had a fair amount of cold weather this month, so our peonies are running a little bit behind, but they are just about ready to pop. And I thought this was the perfect time to share with you how we go about harvesting peonies and maximizing their vase life. So I want to share with you some tips. First of all, peonies are a great perennial. That means that you can plant the roots once, and if you're in a cool zone where it freezes during the winter, and they will come back year to year, and they are a gorgeous flower. If someone asked me what my favorite flower is that I grow, I would say it is peonies for sure. They are just so beautiful. I have some other videos that I'll link to in the description below. I've created videos on how to divide peonies in the fall, when to cut them back, and also how to store them for a long time in the cooler. So I'll link those below if you're interested in those. But today I want to share with you, when do I cut a peony flower? And the obvious answer is, like all of those gorgeous full bouquets that you see, we don't wait that long. If I wait that long to cut my peonies, then I am sacrificing some of the vase life, and the peonies won't last as long for whether I'm enjoying them myself or if I'm sharing them with my customers. So we don't wait until they're fully open, like all of those beautiful pictures that you see in the seed catalogs, but I'll share with you my tips. In a moment here, I'm going to flip my camera around to show you a better picture of these peonies, and my goal is to cut them at just the right stage so that they can open well in a vase when I'm ready for them to do so, and then also to store them if need be. So let's flip the camera around and I'll show you what we're looking at here. So this is one of our bushes that has been around for a long time. It has been at this location for several years. Some of the bushes that we own came with the property when we purchased it, and so we're enjoying those. As a side note, you can see that there are ants on the buds, and there's a myth that the peonies need ants to open, and that's just not true. What they are doing is they're attracted to the pollen that is in the sap that is on the outside of the flowers. So that's what attracts them. Just give your peonies a good shake after you cut them to leave the ants outside, and the ants are harmless. So that's just a side note for fun. So I'm wanting to get the longest vase life possible, and the key is I don't want to wait until the flower is fully open. So what I'm looking for is a bud that is at what is called the marshmallow stage. So it is a soft bud that is not yet open, but it's ready to open. And so this one here would be an example of the marshmallow stage. When I squish it, it is slightly squishy and it gives way under my fingers. So that's a good sign that this one is ready to be cut. The other thing that you'll notice is that the green petals that have covered the bud are starting to peel back. So that is an indicator too. As compared to this one here, the bud is still hard and there's not really much color showing and the green is tight around the bud. That would not be a good one to cut. Although when I cut this, I'm gonna get that one too at this point, and there's really just nothing you can do about that. I'm gonna take you over here and let's look at some others. So this one is still pretty tight. There's nothing on this stem that is yet to the marshmallow stage. So if I were to cut this stem now at this point and put it in some water, take it inside and try to get it to open, chances are very unlikely that it would open. It would probably just sit in the water and rot because it is still hard like a marble and not really far enough along yet to open. So since this bud here is at the perfect stage, let's follow the stem down and go ahead and cut this one. We want to leave some of the plant material so that when the plant is working on creating new eyes for the next season, which it does this year, we want it to have some energy to build from. So we're leaving some of the bush, but we're taking, I don't know, maybe a 15 or 16 inch stem off of the bush here. And we're gonna go to another spot where we have peonies and get a few more to make our bouquet. Here's another bud that's nice and squishy. It's at the marshmallow stage, so it is ready. Gonna give it a cut. Again, leaving plant material so that it has energy. I have several ants on this one. They're attracted to the sap, so I can just give it a good wiggle and hopefully they stay outside rather than coming inside. So we have our peonies cut and they're all at the perfect stage to harvest, to either put it in the cooler and store them or to get them ready for a vase. And so by harvesting them at this perfect stage, what vase life do you suppose that we can expect to get from them as compared to allowing them to fully open before we cut them? So let me give you just a few ideas here, just a generality. If I were to wait for these to fully open before I cut them and then stick them in some nice cool water, I might get, maybe 4 or 5 days would be an expectation. But by cutting them at this perfect marshmallow stage where they're not yet fully open, but they're ready to open, I can expect to get maybe 10 days of vase life out of them. And they're there at the perfect stage where I can store them in the cooler for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe even longer. And so this is the ideal stage. And peonies are great for events, for wedding flowers, or just to enjoy in your home. We love peonies. All right, so how do I get these ready if I want to put them in a vase? I can show you here. We wouldn't just want to go stick these in a vase. They wouldn't do as well. We can help them do better. So I'm gonna take let's just get a stem at a time here. And I cut them pretty long So if you want to put them in a nice tall vase, that would work, or if you want to cut them shorter to put them in a short vase, that would be fine too. But anything that's going to go below the water line, and this is true for any flower, you want to take off the foliage. So we're just going to strip this and get rid of it. By doing so, we help to keep the bacteria from growing in the water, and so that is helpful as well to lengthen their vase life. So we can go ahead and do that with all of our stems. Just strip all of the leaves that would sit below the water line in the vase. And then the next thing you want to do is be sure that you have a clean vase to put them in. We generally, just for our purposes, used jars, but whatever vessel you're using to put your flowers in, make sure it's nice and clean and has fresh water. We even like to change our water each day, as we feel that that helps to lengthen the vase life, because it helps to keep that bacteria from growing and building up, and that's what causes the flowers to not last as long. I have a couple more stems here. As far as the water temperature is concerned, we like to use cool water, and we feel that that gives our flowers the best start. But you can see that I've taken off all of the leaves that would sit below the water line. So these are nice and clean, and they're ready to be put in a vase. If you'd rather store your peonies, let's say you have an event coming up in June. A lot of people get married in June and like to use peonies for their wedding. You can check the link in the description below. I show how to store peonies in the cooler for a long length of time, and so that might be helpful for you. Here in Zone 6 in southern Michigan, our peonies usually bloom sometime between the middle of May and the end of May, and so we hope that's helpful to you. All right, let's go get these peonies in a vase so that we can enjoy them. Whether you're a flower farmer or you're simply growing flowers in your backyard for your own enjoyment, peonies are a great flower. They're, in essence, once you plant them, they are no maintenance. We just fertilize them twice a year, in the spring and then again in the fall, and that's really all there is to it. Trim them back, and they come back year after year after year for enjoyment. They're great to share with a friend or a neighbor or a family member, or someone who simply needs a pick-me-up or an I love you. And so we give them a high recommendation. Thank you for joining us for today's episode. Our goal is to always create content that's helpful for you. And so if you found today's content helpful, please click the like button and subscribe to our channel so that you can receive notifications as to when the next content is available. And as always, if you have a question or comment, please drop those below. We are happy to engage with you, and we read every single one. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day.